guess what? I know you watched last week and you're like, hey, that's the end of the series. Surprise! It's a continuation. So today we're continuing our series on finding God's direction. And I want to speak specifically about closed doors. Because if you've ever asked God for direction and tried to follow God, from time to time you have these experiences where it's like closed doors. And you think about, well, I tried to go through, I wanted this job, and God seemed to close the door for that. Or maybe you said, I want to go to this university, and God didn't open the door. And so you get a little concerned, what am I doing? What do I do with a closed door? And sometimes, we feel in our hearts we're supposed to endure and persist through it. And then sometimes a closed door can mean that God has something different. And I say that because of Paul in Acts chapter 16. When you read about Paul going to Macedonia, or Paul going to Asia Minor, we know it as modern day Turkey, it says that he tried, and this is in verses 6 through 15, he tried to go to Mysia, he tried to go to Bithynia, he tried to go to a couple of different places, and it says the Spirit of Christ forbade him. There was no opportunity, no open doors for him. And I have to sense that there was possibly a little frustration on his part. I'm trying to do your will, God, and I don't feel like I'm having any tread. There's no open doors, there's no opportunities. And if you've ever been through that experience, it can be frustrating because you're like, what am I doing? I'm trying to do it right. I'm trying to follow you, God, but it just doesn't seem like you're opening the doors for me to do what I feel is you put in my heart. And it can be a little frustrating. So listen carefully, because what happens here is super powerful. He keeps trying these doors, and they're closed, they're locked. There's no open platform. There's no opportunities for him. And he has a vision. And he has a vision of this guy from Macedonia. And in the vision, the Macedonian man says, come over here. And this is such a powerful, important point for you when you are following God and trying to have God's direction in your life. Because when Paul could have gotten frustrated, quagmired, and quit and finished and said, stupid, Asia Minor, and just buried himself there. But in that Macedonian call, he didn't quit, but those closed doors was because God had a different door that he wanted Paul to go through. And that Macedonian vision was a change between ministering in Asia. Up to that point, that's all Paul had done. And Macedonia is what we know as modern day Greece. And that's when Paul began his ministry into what we know today as the European ministry. So he hit two different continents. He hit the Asian continent, doing Turkey, Asia Minor, and then with the Macedonian call, it's like God opened a different door, a new continent for him. And so just because God has closed some doors for you, don't get discouraged in that. Just trust that God has different doors that He's going to open. And I love what it says in Revelation. Behold, the door that I open for you, no man can close. So just be encouraged today. If you've got closed doors, doesn't mean that it's a continuation of into eternity of one perpetual closed door. God's got some different doorknobs, different doors for you to try. And just keep going, keep trying some different knobs, because God's got some amazing things for you. And of course, we're going to finish with a joke, because that's the best, close to the best part. So here's your joke. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl? Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? And the reason why is because the P is silent. I know, pterodactyl. I know, it's super bad, but fun nonetheless. Love to have you subscribe. Remember, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me some feedback. I love it all. And thanks so much for watching. We'll be back next week with our concluding episode for this series on God's direction in your life. Thanks again.